Hello again, and welcome to day number 193. My name is Mary, and today's story is The Return to Judah. It was a happy group of people that met together for the journey back to the land they still called home, though very few of them had seen it. There were 42,000 of them besides their servants. They traveled slowly up the Euphrates River, singing songs of joy until they reached the northern end of the great desert. Then they turned toward the southwest and journeyed beside the Lebanon mountains, past Damascus and through Syria, until at last they came to the land of their fathers, the land of Judah. Despite their joy, they must have felt sad when they saw the city of Jerusalem in ruins, its walls broken down, its houses heaps of blackened stone, its once beautiful temple burned to a heap of ashes. As soon as they arrived, they found the rock where the altar of the Lord had stood, the same rock where David had long ago offered a sacrifice. From the smooth surface of this rock, they gathered up the stones and swept away the ashes and dust. Then they built upon it the altar of the Lord, and Joshua the high priest began to offer the sacrifices, which had been offered on that altar for the last 50 years. Every morning and every afternoon, they laid on the altar the burnt offering, gave themselves to the Lord, and asked God's help. From this time on, there were two branches of the Jews' race: those who came back to the land of Judah, which was also called the land of Israel, were called Hebrews, which was an old name of the Israelites. Those who stayed in other countries in Chaldea and throughout the empire of Persia were called the Jews of the dispersion. There were far more Jews abroad than in their own land, and they were richer. Many of them went up to Jerusalem to visit and worship, and many others sent rich gifts. So between the Jews, people in their own land and other lands, there was a close friendship, and they all felt that whatever the Jews were, they were still one people. The Jews who had been captives in the land of Babylon were now free to go wherever they chose. Besides those who went back to the land of their fathers, there were many who chose to visit other lands where they could find work. It was not many years before Jews were found in many cities of the Persian Empire. They went to Africa and to Europe, choosing the cities for their home rather than the country. In all the great cities, the Jews of the dispersion were found, besides those who were living in their own land of Israel. When the Jews came back to their land, their leader was named Zerubbabel, a word that means one born in Babylon. He belonged to the family of David and was called a prince. But he ruled under Cyrus. For Judah, which now began to be called Judea, was a province of the great empire of Persia. And that was the word of the Lord. Now we come to our discussion questions. Number 1, how did the people feel as they journeyed back to their homeland? What did they find when they got there? Number 1 has two parts to it. The first part, how did the people feel as they journeyed back to their homeland? Second one, what did they find when they got there? Number 2, do you think the people worked hard in their home? Do you think the people worked hard in their home? Number 3, who were the Jews of the dispersion? Who was the Jews of the dispersion? And the second part to question number 3, and it is the last one as well, it says, what did they do for the Jews in Jerusalem? What did they do for the Jews in Jerusalem? So that was the end of our story number 193. I hope you are enjoying listening to those short bedtime Bible stories as much as I am finding much joy in reading them. So may God bless us all until we meet again in another exciting story. Bye-bye for now.